Hello everyone, my name is Sam Poole, and my project for this year in biochemistry is the synthesis and agglutinating ability of boronic acid substitute amides of amino acids. Now, the significance of my project is to develop a small molecule agglutinator to be used as a better, less expensive way for determining blood type. Alright, now getting into the lab. Throughout the year, I had 3 different methodologies, which all happen to follow the same general set of steps. Alright, so starting off for each methodology, I would go ahead and measure out my different starting materials on the scale, and then I would go ahead and add them to my round bottom flask and put them on the hot plate stirrer. Each mixture would stay on for about 3 to 24 hours, differing based on the methodology. Alright, then when it was done refluxing, this mixture would be extracted, separating the organic and inorganic layer. I take the organic layer and go ahead and filter it, getting any unwanted solids out of this liquid. Then I would put this liquid on the reflux and let it reflux until all the ethyl acetate was out of it and I was just left with my product. Once I had my product, I would begin NMR preparation. I would take my product and put just a little bit of it into an NMR tube, then add either chloroform or DMSO, and then take it down to the NMR and use the machine to analyze my product. Sadly, after looking at the NMR analysis, we determined that only 1 of my 9 products would actually make it to biology for testing. So, I ended up doing most of my testing on my starting materials. After making my way to biology, I would go ahead and get everything I needed to work with for the day. This being my starting materials in DMSO, my microscope, the microscope slides, pipettes, the sheep's blood that I would be using to agglutinate, and paper towels for my area. Using a few of the pipettes, I would take 1 drop of the sheep's blood and 1 drop of my starting material in DMSO and put them together in a tube, then thoroughly mix them together. Next, I would take that sheep's blood starting material mixture and get a drop of it to put on a microscope slide. Next, one of the most important parts of this procedure is I would take a second microscope slide and make a thin layer of that sheep's blood starting material mixture on that first slide which I put the drop on. I loaded the microscope slide onto my microscope and I took a look at the lowest zoom on the microscope first. With large adjustments, I got this 4x zoom into focus and then went ahead and moved on to the next zoom up. On this zoom, I had to make slight adjustments to bring it into focus, and I started to get a better view of the cells. Once again, I moved up to the next view, making very slight adjustments to bring it into focus. With this final view, I go ahead and take a look at all the different cell patterns and determine whether or not agglutination is taking place. In this case, it wasn't. After repeating this process for each of my starting materials, I go ahead and clean up my area thoroughly and put everything away. Then I head on out. Dr. Murray, Dr. Smith, and everyone who makes it possible for us to conduct this research, I'd like to thank you for this experience and everything you've done for us.